Good morning, everyone. Dear students, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your holidays. Today, dear students, we will read a poem, The Naughty Boy, written by John Keats. So before we start, let's meet the author. John Keats was born in 1821 in England, and he became one of the most famous English poets and had a huge influence on other poets. Today, his poems are some of the most popular and analyzed in English literature. He died from tuberculosis. He was very young, 25 years old. The poem that we are going to read today is called The Naughty Boy. There was a naughty boy, and a naughty boy was he. He ran away to Scotland, the people there to see. Then he found that the ground was as hard, that a yard was as long, that a song was as merry, that a cherry was as red, that lead was as weighty, that fourscore was as 80, that a door was as wooden as in England. So he stood in his shoes, and he wondered, he stood in his shoes, and he wondered. The poem is written by John Keats. And the poem talks about a boy. The boy is described as naughty. This boy runs away. He goes away from England to Scotland. And he sees that everything is the same. Naughty means disobedient, badly behaved. So this naughty boy ran away to Scotland, to another country. To run away means to run off, to flee, to leave or escape from a place or a situation. So what did he do? He ran away to Scotland. From England, he ran away to Scotland. The people there to see. He ran away to Scotland to see the people there. How are the people like in Scotland? Here we can see that the author is playing with words. There was a naughty boy, and a naughty boy was he. We usually don't talk in this way. We usually don't say, and the naughty boy was he. We will rather say, he was a naughty boy. But in a poem, everything is allowed. Then he found certain things. To find out means he discovered. To find out means to discover. He discovered certain things. He discovered that the ground was as hard as in England. The ground means the soil, the earth or the floor. So this ground was the same as hard as in England. He also found out that a yard was as long as in England. A yard means the ground, surrounding a house or a building. So this naughty boy saw that the yard was also as long as the one in England. He also found out that the song was as merry as in England. Merry means happy. He saw there is no change. The song in Scotland was as happy, as merry as in England. He also found out that a cherry was as red as in England. He found out that lead was as weighty as in England. There was no difference. So the cherry was as red as the one in England. The lead means a type of heavy metal. The lead as well was as weighty as the one in England. There was no difference. Weighty means heavy, something that weighs a great deal. So the cherry was as red as the one in England. The lead was as heavy as the one in England. That 80 was as 80. 80 means 4 times 20. He found out that 4 times 20 is 80. Both in England and in Scotland, there was no difference. He also found out that a door was as wooden as in England. There was no difference. Wooden means made of wood. The door in England was the same as the one in Scotland, a wooden door, as wooden as the one in England. So all these things were same as in England. And when we read the poem, we can return to as in England. As it is mentioned, he found many things. He found about the ground, the yard, the song. He found about the cherry, the lead, the 80, and the door. All these were the same, just as in England. So he stood in his shoes and he wondered. To wonder means he was thinking and thinking. He wondered, he stood in his shoes, and he wondered. He wondered, he was thinking, how is this possible? So this is a story about, as it is said, a naughty boy, a badly behaved boy, who ran away from home, from England, and he ran away to Scotland. There he found out that things were just as in England. Things were same. He found that the ground was as hard, that the yard was as long, that the song was as merry, that the cherry was as red, that lead was as weighty, that 80 was as 80, that the door was as wooden as in England. Everything was same. So he stayed there in his shoes, wondering and wondering. Our poem, as you can see, is a one big sentence. This is our introduction. There was a naughty boy, and a naughty boy was he. And then our long sentence starts. As you can see, there are commas, but there is no full stop. This all is one long sentence. He ran away to Scotland, the people there to see. Then he found that the ground was as hard, that the yard was as long, that the song was as merry, that the cherry was as red, that the lead was as weighty, that fourscore was as 80, that the door was as wooden as in England. So he stood in his shoes and he wondered. He wondered, he stood in his shoes and he wondered. This all is one long sentence. Dear students, as you can see, this poem is written about a naughty boy. And there are some rhyming words as well. For example, found ground. This is one rhyming pair. Your today's assignment is to find rhyming words in the poem. You can underline them in your book. I hope you like the poem. See you soon.